Hello and welcome back. It's Kristen from Life of Crafting, and I'm here for the October 2022 Sheetload of Cards sketch. This is a free download that the YouTube channel known as Call Me Crafty Al. Alicia will present a new sketch at the beginning of every month. I love that it's on here in its like full scale. It's an American A2 size card. And what she does is she gives you all of the ingredients, so to speak, to make that month's card. And they do have a different yield, so to speak. This one is calling for 3 6x6 pattern papers. And if you follow her sketch measurements the way she presents them, you will get 9 cards. I will try to remember, because that's my issue, is I don't always remember, to link her video down below where she gives you a lot more in-depth explanation and things on that. So I'm going to pull out some really old paper that I've had. This is from Close to My Heart. It is known as the White Pines, and I don't know what year this was from. I don't even know if they have something on it. I bought this when I went away to one of my weekend craft fairs, 2015. So, like I said, it's just been a while. Close to My Heart is much different to me than a lot of the other companies and how they sell their papers and such. Especially back in 2015, they were just kind of getting started in the card world, as far as I could tell. Looks like they are trying to give me some sketches on how to start their stuff, but they, you know, it's not just pattern paper, it seems like you would get when you buy theirs. There's different combinations, and a lot of it has cardstock with it. So this was one of the papers, and the back paper had this very like Scandinavian or Nordic feel to me. I don't know why. So this was these 2 patterns, and I don't even know how much I have anymore. I would pick this up as I would find it here and there. So there's five sheets of that. I would pick it up. I had a couple different reps that would show up at different events when I would go for weekends. And if I saw it, I would pick it up because I really did like it. I liked it so much I never did a thing with it. Are you part of that? I do that as well. So like I said, they sell the cardstock with it. So I have 4 sheets of their green. The red, I got a red and a white. This is, like I said, depending on where I bought it, so I guess I have 3 red. I'm not very familiar with their colors, so in their world, this is supposed to have champagne, chocolate, colonial white, cranberry, glacier, and fern. These, like I said, I don't have their colors or anything, so I don't know. There's the 4 white, and then I have 4. So it looks like maybe I used one of the red somewhere down the road. I don't know. So this was one of the combination printed sheets. This one I really liked. This one was just so fun. All the little trees on it, and the back had this like snowflake. I'm looking at this tree and I'm thinking I may have bought the stamp set that goes with this. So once I start kind of setting this card up, I want to look and see if I do. So then I have more of this tree pattern. Oh my, I got another 4. So I got 9 sheets of this one with the trees on it and the other on the back. And then this blue kind of comes in with this chevron. It kind of looks like it doesn't belong, but I got 5 sheets of that, and I guess it does. It says it's part of White Pine, so I'm not exactly sure if I'm missing. Let's look through. I don't know how many. I'm looking at their sketches of sorts and stuff. but all I see is those 2 pages, so I don't know how many were in the actual collection. This is what I have of the collection. These 3. So I'm going to try and use this up. I don't know that I'm using all of it up. Hers calls for 3 6x6 pattern papers, and then when you cut them, the way that you mix and match the pieces, I would basically get 3 of each combination in a card. I'm gonna cut up and get 1 sketch done and see how far that gets me. And I don't know, if I like it enough, maybe I'll find a way to try and use this up, because obviously I have way more of these 2 than I do of this one. So I'm gonna see what I can do and I'll be back. So I did look, and I do have the stamp set that went with this. I don't appear to have a die because I would have stuck it in there with there. So at least that gives me something to work with. Great. I have a sentiment, or, you know, I can do the tree with it too. So this is great. I like having stamps that are in the same, I call it genre. So I will definitely be trying to use this, because I'm looking and no, I've never even used the stamp set. It looks like there's some red ink over here, but I don't recall ever using this. So yay for me. Yay, yay, yay. I'll be back. Hello, it's Kristen. I'm back. Like I said, this has these colors up here, and I'm going to assume their red is this cranberry. And I'm going through because, yeah, I don't know how to count and cut. Yeah, okay. I'm going to wind up with 72 cards, even though I always swore I wasn't going to do that many, because I made mistakes in my cutting. So I have this combination for 12 of each combination, which is 36. And then I cut these sides. I felt these were going to be the combinations to go together with these blues and browns. So I'm trying to pull my cardstock in, and I only have 3 sheets of this, what they're calling cranberry. So I pulled out my swatches. I've showed in other videos how I do these. The Gina K tomato soup is really close. It's about a shade or so lighter. The Simon Says stamp, burnt orange of all things, is probably almost an exact match. So they're close to my heart, cranberry. And then I have Terracotta Tile from Paper Tray Ink that is maybe a shade darker. But these all to me are really close. So I just like to put that in there, because if you're a person that has some of the Close to My Heart paper but you don't know what to match up, here you go. So this gives me an idea as well for, you know, where I can go and pull out of my stash for this. So far, I'm not having a whole lot of success. Well, maybe this one with the green. There was not a Stampin' Up color that was close. I'm going to see the Poppy Parade of theirs was a really good color. I don't know that I'm really going to use much in the way of green. I was going to use possibly a layer of green behind this holly leaf pattern, only because I'm trying to conserve on the red. I may wind up just going with a dark brown, because there's not really a whole lot of other color. There's a green in there, but it's really tough. And I'm not familiar with their blue. I'm going to look for the other and see. I am pulling out craft cardstock I want to use for this. And we'll see, only because there's 72. I was thinking about doing the thing where you like rough up the edges and make these a little bit more rustic. So I'm going to get my cardstock and get started. I'll be back. It's Kristen and I'm back. I'm just doing some coloring, and I figure this is probably a good time to go over some of the things I'm observing and some of the reasons I'm going to take the steps I'm going to with this paper pack. So far, this is This was the first card, and I did not like it with the green. I did go with the brown. And this is a really kind of like rustic country Christmas pattern. So I'm trying to keep it kind of in that theme. One of the things, I did a lot of classes with a Stampin' Up! Rep, and I did classes, you know, like when you go away, I don't know if you've ever done this, they do these things, these weekends away, and if you ever have them, oh God, they're great. As a card maker, though, when you go, you're usually like the anomaly. Everybody's there scrapbooking, and everybody's like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, that's great. How did you do that? They are so blown away with like embossing powder and dyes. Oh my God, it is hysterical. Yeah, they don't live in the world of like die cutting and stuff. Their world is the Cricut. And it's just funny. Me and my friend Vicky go, and it's a great time. We love going. And so anyway, when you go, a lot of these places will have close to my heart reps. And sometimes they do classes, sometimes they don't. But when I go, I'm like on a mission. Like, I got so many cards to make. I got to get this done. Like, I don't really want to take the classes. I took one once, and it was really kind of a bomb, and that's a whole nother story for another day. But anyway, so you find their stuff being available, and there's a lot of people that, you know, use it, but a lot of them use it for scrapbooking. And as a card maker, there are some things in the close to my heart world that just don't necessarily translate over. And the woman that really got me started on my card making is my neighbor, Pat. Love, love, love Pat. And Pat has like 2 of everything. I mean, she's just been doing this for so long. And, you know, if you need something, she'll give it to you. I love, love, love Pat. And she would make cards constantly. And I'd be like, oh, Pat, I love that paper. And she's got a real good sense of mixing and matching colors and stuff. So I would say to her, I'm like, Pat, you know, where'd you get? Oh, that's close to my heart. I'm like, every time I would ask, the paper was always close to my heart. And, you know, like we would go together to do some Stampin' Up! Card classes and stuff. And there really isn't anybody active in my area that I would want to do a card class with, because like I said, a lot of them do scrapbooking. But I would find the paper there, and I was like, ooh, you know. It was some of the things I had to learn. And this is kind of on my own, because like I said, I haven't really done much in the way with the wraps. Is that for one, a lot of their card stock has a white core. So what that means to me is, I don't know if you can kind of get that vibe, but when you work in it in this dark color like this, you see that edge, and it's like, it makes you look like you don't know what you're doing when you cut the paper. I mean, honestly, at least that's how I feel. I feel like it's like I just, you know, like you didn't cut it straight or something. Like I'm the blame because there's like this white line around it. So that was why I mentioned that I thought I would kind of rough up the edges. But after screwing up the cutting and then having to like cut more paper to fix the problem, and then doing all this mixing and matching, and, you know, now I'm up to 72 cards instead of, you know, my, what was it going to be, like 9 or something. Yeah, listen, we all have those days. My brain just was not functioning. But anyway, so what was I saying? The white core. So I was trying to figure out like how I was going to do it. And I thought about roughing up the edge, but you know what? I'd have to rough up like the edges of the paper, then probably rough up the edges of these. I'm like, and these things are like an inch wide. So it's, no, like I'm not that much of a glutton of a punishment to myself. So this was why I transitioned into doing this, putting the red, and this is Barn Door Distress Oxide ink that I found. And it's so funny because this is supposed to be like, what did I say, like cranberry or something, like raspberry. So I think it was cranberry. And somebody's, you know, one's calling it burnt orange, which I think is Simon Says stamp. So they've got it in the orange family. One's calling it cranberry, which makes me think it's like a burgundy. He's calling it Barn Door, which makes me think, you know, like a red. Yeah, it's all over the place. A lot of orange in it, though. And I'm learning that, like, I'm going to have to stock up because I did that Love from Lizzie North Pole series, and I still have some of that paper here, and that was one of these. So, you know, when you live in the world of Stampin' Up, you know, Real Red and Cherry Cobbler's your world. They don't have, like, even the Poppy didn't really kind of translate over to this. So anyway, back to Close to My Heart. So the lessons I had to learn for them is, you know, like, no matter how much you plan or what you're doing with their paper, I love, love, love it. But I don't know that they really have the concept that, like, you as a card maker are going to cut the paper. Because, you know, people that do scrapbooking, for the most part, are booking on the 12 by 12 sheets. So, you know, usually I have to find a way to do something with covering up what looks to be errors, but they're not really. And then, like I said, they're not, some of their colors are not, I'm going to have to try and piece together from other brands. If I do more in the future, I'm probably going to be beneficial for me to just find a rep of theirs or something and place an order, because I do have another one that was called Oh Dear, and that was just so beautiful. I got to pull that out. So anyway, but their patterns, I love, love, love their patterns. They have a nice small all over pattern in their papers. I don't find that they tend to do those like real big pieces that you find in the paper pads where like you don't know what to do with it because it's so big. Like, how do you cut it down? Like I said, depending on if you find the reps locally, I found them at some of my weekend aways or some of what they call like expos where you go buy it. If I could find the expos, you could find like the loose papers, and you would see them, like, they like to sell it in the kit because, you know, for them, if they've got it all together, they're going to make a bigger sale for them to put the paper in there and then put the, you know, the card stock and all. I don't know if they're putting in there, if it comes that way, but, you know, if they can sell it with the stamp. And, you know, I was thinking about it, and I don't have a die for the stamp set because back then they had everything on a Cricut. Like, I don't even know how you were going to do it. Somehow, I guess you were supposed to cut everything out on a Cricut and then stamp it afterwards or something. I don't even know like what they were thinking. They had some kind of arrangement with them back then. Now they do have dies, which is nice. I have gotten some of those. But this is where I'm at. I'm working at trying to, these ones aren't as bad, these smaller ones, but for me to kind of start hiding some of it, like I said, some of the papers really did have more issues than others. This is the concept of what I came up with so far. I'm going to wind up with 36 in the red combination. And then, like I said, I had the combinations that are over here that were like the other papers that had like the blue in it, that I paired up with the brown. So that one, I just got to find a blue, you know, and I think I have a lot more blues over there. I think that I'll be able to find something to do with that. But I'm really, God, it's just, I know you got to know when, but it just seems like it needs something more. I did put some little drops on here that I got, Morning Dew, Nuvo drops. I tried putting them on like on these little berries in here, but it didn't really do anything. So I think I'm going to just call it a day on that. So enough of my chit chat in here. I think that's all of what I had to impart of what I learned about Close to My Heart. I do really like the new 2022. They have one, it's a very classic looking Christmas paper. And they're doing a thing called Mix In now or something, where like it's more of like just a solid color with like a polka dot or something that kind of like mixes in to like expand the paper. They have some in there that are really like elegant looking stripes and stuff. So I'm kind of like oohing and ahhing. So I'm gonna finish this up, and then, you know, I'll finish one pad up and then have to go shopping again, I guess. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm gonna finish these, and then when I get those done and I can get into the blue, I'll be back. It's Kristen and I'm back. I'm not quite ready to show the next series, but I did want to show you, I cut my brown and now you can see that white edge that Close to My Heart paper leaves because it's got the white core. That's why I'm trying to, I'm going to be using Vintage Photo to cover the edges of this. Like I said, I finished the first card that I showed you, and I'm not quite ready for this next one. But this is what's leading me to doing all my brushing because, like I said, I just feel like, and I'm going to be putting this on a blue background, so it's kind of like, if I don't, I feel like you're going to see that white edge in my card design if not. So I will be back shortly to finish this up. It's Kristen and I'm back to wrap up the October 2022 Sheetload of cards. I will try to put the link down below so that you can get the video with the instructions of where to get the download for this. And here's the cards I wound up making in the red and the blue. I did kind of go through the red before. I brought them back only because I did run out of this red. It is called the cranberry color for Close to My Heart. And I went on their site and it is apparently a discontinued color for them. I did not see cranberry in their current lineup. And I went on eBay. This white pine paper is like non-existent. There's quite a few of the stamp sets out there, but I really did not find anybody offering the paper. So hopefully maybe you can just use this for some inspiration on how to use your cardstock that you may have in your stash there. So then the blue version was done. I used the brown paper that was in that card kit pack, whatever you want to call it. I did run out and I brought in soft suede from Stamping Up. I used the Merry Christmas out of here and the Tumbled Glass Distress Oxide ink, but it needed something else and I really didn't want to bring in like what I did before. I didn't want to bring in the greens and the reds, so I decided to use the little loopy stamp down here, and that was really cute. I liked how it added this stuff in. I was able to use up, I had a spool going of this old Stamping Up seam binder ribbon in the soft sky color, which is the blue that I used in this as far as the paper went. And I thought it was a good match, and like I said, I loved the seam binder and I've got a lot of this, so I'm kind of happy I could use that up. I don't know if I said before, this is just a thick twine. I think I got it at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or something like that. So that was my cards for the Sheetload of cards for October 2022. The aging on the blue card I used was the Oxide and Vintage Photo, and my hand is tired after doing 72 of these. I did 36 and 36, and that was just because I couldn't figure out how to cut paper. My brain took a hiatus at the time. So I hope you like this. I hope you get some inspiration. Appreciate some thumbs up down below. Would appreciate too if you would subscribe. That would help me build my channel, but it also will put my future videos in your feed so you know when I have new videos coming. And I will tell you, the business, our retail business, is getting busy, so I don't know how much, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do the November and December when they come out. I will definitely, I'm liking these, and I'm liking this series, this part of it, for myself. So if I don't get to them in time for those months, I will be doing them in January. I will catch up at some point. Just want to give you some ideas on that. So appreciate your time, and hope you like the cards, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.